Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the midday market madness. It feels like it should be a monitor, but it is not. I'm watching my favorite companies go down the drain on the best news we could have possibly seen. So, you know what? The Bears win this one. You guys were absolutely right. Um, this company just can't, the company's fine. It's just the investors can't get out of their own way. I mean, honestly, that's the truth about it. But they ended up guiding for what looked to be 4 million plus new members for next year. So we're now going to be essentially what they're calling for 1 million plus new members every quarter going forward. Like, get used to that. That hopefully translates into more products per member, which is also what we saw, an increase there. The amount of adjusted EBITDA that they ended up calling for, which was 34% for 2026. 34%? Like, just insanely high numbers. So we're talking about, new accounts, more products per member, increased margins, way, way higher than Wall Street expectations. And the stock sells off. I don't know. Maybe Kevin Warsh is the stick of dynamite in Anthony Noto's tool belt here, but that's not even what he said. He's excited for it. Every Wall Street investors excited for Warsh. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not. The midterm guidance actually got cleared up. SoFi's management even said that it's not 2025 that's inclusive of the 30% CAGRs going forward. That's like the compounded annual growth rates are for 2026, 27, and 28. It's a 3-year CAGR. I don't know. Crazy. Markets thinking that Warsh is going to raise rates, but that's not what's in SoFi's own. I hate this thing. That's not what is in SoFi's own guidance. They're calling for 2 rate cuts, which doesn't mean that it has to come true just because they're guiding for it, right? But they're guiding for 2 rate cuts and unemployment between 4.5 to 5%. Net charge-offs didn't deteriorate. They ended up having just a different mix shift. There's going to be a huge push into home loans, which could be a reason for next year. Like if we go ahead and take a look at their lending growth over time, let's go ahead and show this really quick. So I don't have all the numbers just yet, but I still need to fill in some of these numbers. But what we ended up showing off was origination growth of roughly 42%. The quarters before that, 53%, 66%, and 68%. Huge growths, right? But on lending revenue, where's lending revenue? On lending revenue, the growth only came in at 19%. Well, why is that? Well, 48% of the total amount of originations ended up going into financial services revenue, which climbed up over 78% year over year. Really, really high growth rates, almost exactly what I called for. Honestly, I practically nailed this entire quarter, down to a T. My, call on members, on EPS, on financial services and lending, all pretty much in the realm of where we called it for. Lending, I actually think I was slightly more bearish. In financial services, I might have been slightly more bullish. But even this, like revenue per financial services product, looks like it's going down, but it really didn't even go down. The things that they're making money on increased. It's just SoFi Relay right here skyrocketed in their amount of people that have this product. 650,000 new SoFi Relay accounts, up 11%, which is a really high top of funnel product that ends up bringing people into things like credit cards or personal loans or home loans whenever they end up looking at your total financial view and say, oh, wow, you know what? We actually need, like you could refinance and SoFi can actually offer you that loan at a really great rate. SoFi Crypto is a new product. This was only around for 9 days from December of 22nd to December 31st. And 63,400 people have already signed up. So that was quite exciting as well. Even whenever you take out crypto, we still end up seeing a higher amount of products per member than what we did the previous quarters. Okay, so you can see from Q4 2024 to Q4 2025, products per member has gone from 1.56, 1.58, 1.456, 1.458, 1.459, 1.468, 1.477, continuing to climb up. But we have to remember the guidance that SoFi called for lending was 23% growth year over year, okay, for full year of 2026. So if they believe that, what percentage of that is going to be the loan platform business, which then ends up feeding into financial services? You know, they said they had a lot of large customers that are wanting the loan platform business that are in the late stages of signing those accounts. So I understand that the stock market's down, but or that this stock is down in particular. I'll just be candid with you guys. I ended up buying, honestly, quite a hefty dip. I ended up selling not a core position of mine, but a position that I've been selling for a while. Fully exited this name, and then another extremely small name, and fully bought into SoFi and Nebius. Okay. Now, silver, wow, still falling, 101 to 77. This is practically in the middle of the in a single day. You know, no. I didn't sell a single share in SoFi. I'm practically doubling down. So, as the stock is tanking, I'm filling up the, those missing shares with more SoFi. Oh, look at all the comments. Not BMNR, not Shift 4. No. Silver now down 27%. Just when you thought SoFi was doing bad. Geez, eh? I'm not involved in silver or anything like this, but yeah. Okay. But look at Nebius too. Let's have a look at this. Nebius down, it's down even more, dude. Down 9% to $86.30. This company, like, you look at it over the last couple of months, we've gone down to, $80, back up above 100, back down to 75, back above 110, back below 86. Talk about a name that you could probably do a nice wheel strategy on, but be careful because they are growing revenue, and which is flowing into adjusted EBITDA at this moment. Eventually, it'll flow down to all the way down the bottom line. But be careful with the name that's growing so fast because it might be able to grow its way out of this range if it's not being dilutive. Okay. Yeah, my SoFi options got cooked. Bye. It is crazy, right? Like, this is also why, to me, everything was set up for this to be a phenomenal quarter. And it was a phenomenal quarter. Like I, for real, have nothing bad to say. You know what? So Dan Dolev ended up sending me this morning his report on SoFi. Okay. This is what he said. SoFi stock is trading down roughly 4% after spiking nicely pre-market following an outstanding quarter. With upbeat 2026 and medium-term guides, the culprit seems to be concerns about the loss of Chime. We believe that these worries are overblown and recommend buying on today's weakness mainly for the following 4 reasons. In Q4 guide, they already included the loss of Chime, so this should not be a surprise to investors. Guys, we knew about the Chime deal completely ending for months now. Like, for months. I've been telling you guys this. Now Wall Street's figuring it out. Not Dan Dolev. Like he said, they've known about it. But investors. So yeah. The revenue in Q4 from Chime was in accordance with the contract, and the level of generation was consistent with the last 6 quarters, i.e. no big windfall in Q4. For 2026, the tech platform normalized for the transition of Chime. Revenue growth should still be roughly 20%. And SoFi is guiding for 35+% growth in Q1, despite the difficult comp for not having any revenue from Chime in Q1 2026, which means over 40% growth implied pro forma in Q1 of 2026. This is what Mizuho Securities just wrote. He put a price target on this stock of $38. He reiterated with a price target of $38. Andrew Jeffries ended up writing a report. They also sent me this. We are pleasantly surprised by the outlook and think that the street will too. We encourage investors to add into strength this morning as SoFi results seem to support our thesis that large banks that have aggressively penalized customers for holding deposit at their institutions and slap them with unreasonable fees are losing the day. In our view, the future of banking is SoFi. That was their report. Strong purchase and an outrating performance. They do not put price targets. William Blair does not put exact price targets on their stock, but they do put a directional view, which to them is outperform. So I am buying into these names that I think are acting extremely weak. Now, I wish I could go back and, go, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to buy Nebius at 87. I meant to buy it at 85.90. But we don't have that type of powers, nor will it make a little bit of a dent whenever, or a little bit of a difference whenever it gets to 150, 200 eventually, which is what I'm hoping for. How's gold? Gold down 11%. What is that, a 4 trillion? How much of a move is that? Oh my gosh. From 512 to 442. That must be like a not a $10 trillion swing, but like $7 trillion swing or something like this. We're talking about $7 trillion of market cap if you were to add up the total value of gold. Okay. Silver. Oh my gosh, bro. 110 down to 75 and falling. Shopify getting pounded. Okay, well, aggressive language, bro. Go to the PG-13 section of the chat. I'm trying to keep it, friendly here. Yeah, it's not doing that great. Neither are the software names. There's this general view that people just believe that all software names are going to die because we can end up writing Claude code. Tanner, we're all getting pounded. You guys, wash your mouth out with soap. Okay? But yeah, I am sore. Tanner, you have Nebius, right? Yes. And bought a lot of it today. A lot. Okay. App down now to $65. It's not down to 65. It's down probably $65. Yeah, $66. App's getting crushed. I mean, you could pick a software name, literally. Pick a software name. I'm going to be broke. If this name falls, if NVIDIA falls, it's my only saving grace. It's my only saving grace. I'll be okay. One Where's SanDisk yesterday? I listened to the earnings call. You guys can go ahead and listen to that as well. I mean, even this is selling off. This is the most mind-blowing quarter I've ever seen of any company in my dang life. Okay. Essentially, this is what happened. I'll give you guys the rundown. In the last couple of quarters, SanDisk said, yeah, we're going to do probably about well, actually, let me skip ahead. So from, okay, I have to give you some more preface. They end up showing their fiscal quarters, not calendar quarters. So the one that ended up just getting shown to us yesterday was Q2 of 2026. It's not the normal Q2, but that's just the way that they report it. Anyway, they said for Q2, for Q1, we're going to do roughly, $1 billion in revenue and $3 in EPS. Or sorry, for Q2. What they ended up seeing is instead of $3 billion in revenue, instead of 2 point, oh my gosh, you know what? For real, I cannot believe this is a live stream. It's the most embarrassing jumble of stutter I've ever done. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers ourselves. Jeez. They ended up saying $2.4 billion in revenue. What they ended up doing was $3 billion. Crushed it. EPS, they expected $3. What we ended up seeing was $6. Now, so that's a doubling in expectations after growing from $1 of EPS to $3. Not enough. $1 to $6. Then next quarter, they're expecting $14 of EPS with an additional $1 billion in revenue. We're talking about like 14xing their business year over year, free cash flow positive. It'll show the company not being profitable, but they absolutely are. Phenomenal. Okay. It's insane how fast this company is growing. Absolutely insane. These last couple of quarters. And then the next quarter, they're calling for like 4.8 billion. Net income. Here, look at this. Diluted EPS. This is not, I want their adjusted numbers because they ended up showing adjusted EPS. Yeah, this was it. Adjusted EPS ended up showing $6. The year over year comp was roughly around, $1.23. And the next quarter, it's going to be negative $0.3. And they're expecting $14 of EPS. Like just insane growth in the memory names. Hopefully that means NVIDIA is going to do okay as well. But even this name selling off. Micron as well. Keep an eye on that. Silver 71 down 32%. Oh my gosh. Are we going to go under 70? Oh my. Where is your money safe? This is probably the greatest dollar crash for commodities. Obviously, there were some major crashes in commodities, silver, way back in the day. But at these prices, I don't know. This is probably the largest and fastest drop, if I were to take a bet, in just sheer aggregate dollars. Wow, wow, wow. Stanley Druckenmiller ended up talking about Kevin Warsh. The branding of Kevin as someone who is always hawkish is not correct. I'm really excited about the partnership between him and Besant. Having an accord between the Treasury Secretary and the Fed Chair is ideal, said Stanley Druckenmiller. Warsh is very open-minded to the monetary policy approach of the former Chief Alan Greenspan. Okay. Kevin right now very much believes you can have growth without inflation. These are some thoughts from Stanley Druckenmiller. Silver, are we about to lose $70? Money is safe in metal. Well, these are not my words. This was always the way. I don't know if this is the end of silver. I mean, there could always be a recovery. I'm not calling for this to be the end of silver. This could be just a drawback today. But whenever you see an unbelievable, like meteoric rise like this is how these things end. Stocks usually take the stairs up and the elevator down. Whenever they take the elevator up, they bungee jump off the top. If there's especially, the potential for no real earnings growth, nothing like this. I mean, the potential use cases for silver increasing is absolutely real, but is that, directly akin to how much it's actually risen recently? I don't know. I'm not a commodities guy. Copper's most definitely crashing too. I don't even need to take a look. It's all going to be going down. But gold, though, especially, just with the sheer market cap of gold, to be down 12.5% right now, 432 is what it hit. Let's keep an eye on silver, see if it ends up getting below 70. Looks like there's definitely a few buyers here, which is nice. Oh my gosh, Hood broke 100. Okay. Why is Nebius getting smashed today specifically? I'm not sure. A lot of the cloud names are taking a hit. I'm curious. I was thinking if it's going to be the large increase in prices, like if NAND and DRAM is going up so much, maybe the cost for NVIDIA chips and everything end up increasing, which might affect the cloud names. I don't have a direct answer, but did we find a little bottom here on silver? Is this a fake out like what we saw just in the sort of high $70? Who knows? Everything is getting a beating right now, ladies and gentlemen. NASDAQ is turning sour. Wow. NASDAQ down 1.55%. The SPY down nearly 1%. NVIDIA now turning red. 0.9 down on the day. What's SoFi? Imagine SoFi's green. No. A man can hope. I can pray. This is the worst day in silver by a percentage basis since 1921. That's a new stat for you. The worst day in silver since 1921. This is definitely, that's by the way on a percentage basis, not on a dollar basis. This is by far the worst day we've ever had in silver in terms of the amount of dollars that are leaving silver. Guys, you just erased, I don't know if you guys are participating in this, you guys erased 100 years of history. Or you could say that you're making history. We're rewriting the books here. Oh my gosh. Are we going to hold 70? Crazy. This is a little bit, this is the cool thing about markets. Obviously, some people are losing their hat on this, and some people maybe have been betting on the downside of silver. So there's full markets here. But these types of sudden changes are what make markets so fun. Hopefully you guys are staying protected out there and risk adjusted. You were fine with holding on to silver, knowing that this could be a possibility. Maybe you didn't have in your history books that, a 30+% crash hasn't happened since 1921. It can't happen to me. It can. Yeah, if you bought physical silver, you got a backpack, you're running to the physical is a lot harder to sell. That's for sure. People say this is manipulation. Yeah, that's what the silver market has always been. Like, it's not like, oh, this is this time. This is going to recover back to where silver, was before. What price is that, guys? Look at this chart. That is crazy. Oh my gosh. But for real, this is the way it was always going to be. Hopefully it recovers, for real. What is crypto doing? That's a good question. Bitcoin, 82,400. Ethereum probably going to be pretty, 2,600. Dude, what if Sean Farrell was right and he was calling for Ethereum going down to like 2,000, 1,800? Tom Lee might have sort of steered him in the wrong direction. Maybe he was right all along. The triple Qs, I gotta get closer. Triple Qs up 1.33%. Silver holding above 70. Look at the fight for 70. This will be remembered, ladies and gentlemen. The silver battle of 2026. The fight for $70. As just an unbelievable amounts of billions and billions of dollars are trading hands. This is benefiting the currency markets, the brokerages. Robinhood's probably getting a few shares traded back and forth. It's also why I like holding the brokers. Whenever these manic days happen, they benefit regardless of where this price goes. Spots at 78. That's pretty crazy too. Wow. Joseph Carlson just bought Meta. It's hard not to. They're expecting 30+% growth next quarter. It's phenomenal. Just bought silver for the first time. This man loves risk. In the face of it having a rip your face off meltdown as we just hit new lows. We have some people in chat that are buying this silver dip. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen. We are down over 33%. Oh my God. Even lower, 13.12. Oh no. It's been a long day. Oh no. I'll keep this singing to a minimum. My beautiful singing voice will have this stream shut down, and then we won't be able to see silver come back with its meteoric rise. We just need a few $1 trillion to come back into the markets and buy up this dip. I'm calling up the boys right now. They're here to save silver. We for real, like the battle of 70 is true. We did not end up dropping below 70. Tanner, we're taking you to the voice. Dude, I don't even need to. I'm past the voice. I'll be a judge. Okay. Let's see. I just got some clarification on SoFi's earnings that they did not actually do a small loss sharing provision on the loan platform business. That was actually for the whole loan sales. Once again, I am spreading misinformation, but that's the, sort of what happens whenever you're just listening to the earnings call. You don't have the transcript in front. Always do a double read. BM&R down 7%. I can believe it, dude. This thing's going to fall into the teens if, Ethereum actually does get to like 2,000 and Sean Farrell was right the entire time. BM&R is going to we could lose our shirt on this whole name. If you hold common shares and you believe in it in the long term, well, then it's just going to be a painfully long ride. But yeah, let's check Nebius really quick. Nebius at 85, TeraWolf at $13, down 10%. Redwire down 10%. White Fiber down 9.6%. Cipher Mining, Applied Digital. Oh my gosh, man. These names are getting killed. Where's Iren? Iren's one of the biggest losers right now. 10.3%. Let's just quickly check silver again. Battle for 70. Oh my gosh. Whew. It is capitulation. The market is capitulating. But yeah, let's see what is working. SanDisk. Memory. NAND. The VIX. A little bit of a hedge play for some people on the volatility here. Tesla, on the idea that they could potentially merge with SpaceX and XAI, the cumulative, full net worth of Elon Musk in one ticker. That could be quite exciting, up 4%. That was a report from Bloomberg. Lending Club, weirdly enough, up 1.9%, even though they are a very worse SoFi. SoFi ended up showing off great earnings, down 6.7%. Silver. Wow, dude, it really did bounce off 70. It's not falling below. It's crazy. Yeah, we're all getting a little bit of red light therapy right now. If you're in silver, you practically have a sunburn at this point. It's been enough red light therapy. Okay. How many of you guys in chat, let's do a poll, have actually participated in the gold and silver, mania recently? Now, it's an anonymous poll, so there's no need to brag. No one's going to even know if you did or didn't. So just, let me know the truth. Did you buy gold or silver in the last year? Let me know. 31% said yes, 30%. That's way, obviously, we're just getting the initial numbers. That's still way higher than I thought. And it doesn't mean that it's over. It doesn't mean that you guys didn't make money. I'm just still surprised that my audience is made up from people that are well-rounded in their abilities to make money and find opportunities in the market. 26%, 25% said yes, 75% said no. Remember, it's completely anonymous. Copper, sure, that could be another one. I know actually that one was quite popular amongst equity investors. Yeah. Bro, the battle for that really was the standing ground, eh? Obviously, spot might be a little bit different than the iShares, but iShares is a good good test for it regardless. Okay. New report, U.S. population growth is slowing. The total U.S. population rose by 1.78 million people in the last 12 months, ending July 1st, 2025, to nearly 342 million people. This marks the first decline in population growth since 2021. Last year, net immigration declined 50% year over year to just 1.26 million people. At the same time, natural growth, births minus deaths, reached 519,000 people. The total population is expected to increase just 756,000 for the next 12 months, ending July 2026. This would mark the slowest annual population growth this century. Population dynamics are shifting in the United States. I mean, yeah, the immigration changes obviously are going to impact that as well. So I don't think that's super surprising. Eliza's in chat. We actually ended up paying out Eliza yesterday. Eliza, hopefully you received that payment because I didn't get confirmation of this. Well, I got PayPal saying it went through, but maybe not to the right person. Who knows? But yeah, little giveaway yesterday. Yeah, Liz is famous now in chat. I'm guessing my FICO score is okay. Even SanDisk now is selling off, only up 8%. Tesla down. Where's the Qs? Down 1.4%. The SPY, let's see to where the day ended up starting. SPY down 0.77. Let's get back to silver. Oh my gosh, guys. Down 32.4%. Okay. Yes, I did. Thank you. Boom. Amit warned us. I mean, he might have. Chris says, what is causing this? Everything's down. Nothing even rotating. So confusing. Was there a war today? Not that I'm seeing. I'm not seeing any confirmation of, an Iranian announcement or anything along these lines. It's decently quiet, but, this is the problem with the silver markets and everything. I don't think that there necessarily needs to be a large catalyst in order to rotate this much money. If there's massive hedge funds that are playing in these names, this could have just been their time to pull the trigger. New Fed chair was announced. This is another thing that we ended up talking about yesterday was like the market will test a new Fed chair. Now that we know exactly what it is, they don't even need to be in office for everyone to be scrubbing through his history and trying to figure out if this guy's going to sink us or not. Yeah, it's a nice warm. It's literally they rolled out the red carpet for Warsh. It's just a nomination, by the way. It's just a nomination. It's not even going to happen until May. But it's a nice red carpet for a new Fed governor or new Fed chair. Happens every time. Look at SLV. It's on screen, brother. Another new low, $70.03. 70 is still holding. Oh my God. I'm not seeing under 70. I see 70.03. It marks the bottom on my screen. We have it to mark the bottom. Even if it just gets like a candle wick there, it'll mark it. But we're not quite up. 70.02. What's going to happen if this falls below $70? If this gets like comfortably into 79, I wonder if there's even enough like money ready to buy this at 70s or if it just continues to sink. I said, what happens if we break below 70? And this guy says 69. Thank you. I know the way numbers go. It's just, do we end up seeing an even larger collapse? I can't imagine larger than a 33%. You're cutting off a third of the price of the entire silver market, the second biggest asset in the world, which now I don't even think that's true anymore. Or it might be. It's that or NVIDIA, which is crazy. Oh my gosh. $70 exactly. Bro, 70 flat. Oh my gosh. This was 110 Thursday morning. Parsival officially owns silver. Well, if Parsival bought that, that's why it's swinging another, couple $1 billion here. I mean, I can't imagine it dropping more than this. I'm here for it if it does. I mean, it's good. This is the craziness in markets. Some people are going to the, oh my God. A little bit of an overreaction, but it's under 70. Oh, wow. Dude. And close that dollar really quick. Holy. How do you buy silver? You could buy the iShares ETF right now. You could buy SLV, like on Robinhood or any of your brokerage. I assume that yours has that. I have no money riding on this, but I'm loving it. Okay. Just broke below 70. Oh my gosh. We are back above 70 though. That it came back. There are millions of ounces trading hands. Not nearly. Yeah, I mean, dude, look at this actually. Versus where we were today, the volume's decent. Wow, man. The real winners are the brokerages here. Okay. I'm actually surprised by the lack of flurry of messages that I'm seeing online. President Trump just said the new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, will cut rates without any pressure. Okay. Let's see what else. Let's go ahead and check on, while this is potentially recovering, let's go see if the rest of the market is recovering. Nebius down 10.3%. TeraWulf down 9.8%. Rocket Companies down 14.8%. Silver still bleeding. Maybe we end up seeing a little bit of a bounce here. How crazy would it be if today, in today's market, this ends up bouncing off $70, $69, and runs back to like 80 or 90? The silver markets don't close, There'll be a lot of money changing hands on this one as well. Gold also potentially finding a bottom at $430. Wow. Well, times it by 10 or whatever for the ounce, but that's just incredible. Let's see the spot prices. What's the best website to see the spot prices up to date? I like having it all together. I wish I could see spot on, one of these brokerages, because I love having the ability to just switch over and take a look at SanDisk or something up 8. Losing money with friends. I could change the. Yeah, Ampex was the one that I was just, or AmpMex is the one that I was just on. But absolutely incredible. Silver 72. Maybe that was the bottom. Yeah, like I said, I couldn't imagine it being what are we going to have, a negative 45% day on silver, the second biggest asset ever? Like, I have to put this into perspective. There will be buyers, EVs and the amount of different new technologies that actually require these metals. Like, there are actual real, buyers for this. I'm not buying the dip. I'm not going to play this. I like buying productive assets, but I'm just saying there's, I'm not mad at people that are buying this for the swing. What do you think of Meta and its price right now? It's amazing. I don't know what it's doing today, down 2.9, but still $700+. Like, yeah, I honestly think that this is a $1,000+ stock. It not in the near term, like 3 months or anything like this, but 12 to 18 months. Yeah, I'm big believer in Meta. They're essentially calling for 30+% growth rates next quarter for year-over-year growth. People are worried about the CapEx, but a lot of that growth is going to come in the way of just better advertising conversion and like more impressions and then dollars charged per ad. Yeah, SanDisk is dumping. That one honestly might be, like, the memory names I've not been able to pull the trigger on, but these might be having a longer way to go. If you're a believer in Nebius and you're a believer in NVIDIA, like, for example, I own both of these names. Is the need for memory going to increase or decrease in the next versions of like a Vera Rubin or something like this? They massively increase. Okay. Is there going to be more or less sales of data centers going forward? At least for my portfolio, I'm betting on more. So unless there's some massive breakthrough, some technological breakthrough that people are expecting, I think there's going to be a lot more purchases of and the margins too. You should see their margins over time. It went from like 30% to 50% quarter over quarter. And the next quarter, they're expecting like something like 68% gross margins on SanDisk. It's incredible. If you expect it to decrease, then yeah, don't end up touching those types of companies. Are we seeing a little bit of a reversal in markets here? Q's maybe seeing a little bit of a bounce, smaller than silver. Silver back above, now down 29%, better than being below 30%. Gold, little bit of a recovery here. Is the market done freaking out? Is this the dip to purchase? Do you end up going in, throwing a little bit of money, thinking that the chaos is over? Or is this a little bit of a dead cat bounce and we have more chaos coming today? Usually whenever people think, the chaos continues, like silver's not just going to keep crashing forever and ever. Like there's definite buyers for silver. That's for sure. Okay, let's go ahead and see CNBC if they're talking about this right now. Maybe we can get some insight here also. Elizabeth right now. I don't care too much. I don't think she's going to be talking about silver. So maybe she is. Maybe she's buying the dip. Buy the dip. Okay. I just keep buying SoFi. Yeah, I bought SoFi today and I bought Nebius. The two stories that I greatly believe in. I think it's hard to find companies that just compound greatly over time. It's a boring stock. It's boring. But I think, honestly, boring makes money a lot of the times. Silver, very, very exciting. But also, I think it's very, very scary to hold something that drops 30% in a day that's breaking 100-year-plus old records. Netflix, ServiceNow, SoFi, Ethereum. That's a good list. What is Netflix sitting at right now? Silver above 75. Is this the recovery? Was that the bottom? Parsival bought silver, and we know he did. He said it way before it started turning around. So this dude, sniped the bottom, buying it at $70. Okay. I ended up tweeting out silver breaking below 70, which happened to be like the literal freaking minute that this ended up bottoming. And all you guys are tweeting that you've never seen me have this much fun before. No, dude, I'm I like historic moments. What I really like in markets, like things that end up getting written in the history books. Silver losing, for real, trillions of dollars is something that will be remembered. You guys are a part of history right now. Kevin Warsh is quite bullish on Bitcoin. He's made some definite comments about things like saying, if you're under 40 years old, Bitcoin is your new gold. Also, let's go ahead and see this really quick. Just a very quick video, and then we'll get back to the silver. Let's go ahead and see his commentary on Bitcoin here.
You made reference to Bitcoin, and I thought I heard a little bit of condescension that people are buying Bitcoin and these things.
But doesn't it? Charlie Munger, this is 2 or 3 years before he died, Charlie Munger attacked Bitcoin. He called it evil, in part because it would begin to undermine the Fed's ability to manage the economy.
Or it could provide market discipline, or it could tell the world that things need to be fixed.
Bitcoin does not make you nervous.
Bitcoin does not make me nervous. I can hearken back to a dinner I had here in 2011 with someone who is another guest on your show. I won't say his name. I just did Mark Andreessen, who showed me the white paper. That was the original white paper. I wish I had understood as clearly as he did how transformative Bitcoin and this new technology would be. Bitcoin doesn't trouble me. I think of it as an important asset that can help inform policymakers when they're doing things right and wrong. It is not a substitute to the dollar. I think it can often be a very good policeman for policy. And if I were to speak more broadly to what did Charlie Munger and others perhaps have in mind, there is a proliferation of securities that go under all sorts of names. Many, if not most of them, are not worth what they might be being traded for. So what did Charlie say, and maybe his pal Warren say? There's the innovators, the imitators, and the incompetents. They're real innovators that are happening in and around that new technology. And what I would try to impart towards businesses and bankers is that the underlying technology that Mark showed me in that white paper, or tried to show me in that white paper, it's just software. It's just the newest, coolest software that will provide us an ability to do things that we could never have done before. Can the software be used for good and evil? Yes, both, like all software. Right. So I don't cast aspersions like that. If there's a final point, it's these technologies are being built here. I don't just mean on Stanford campus. I believe in the United States. And the world's most talented engineers from China and Europe and everywhere, they come to the United States even now to try to build this stuff.
Okay, good pause on that. But just as we were playing that video, Bitcoin also bouncing off that bottom that seemingly silver ended up bottoming on. Silver is recovering above $76 on the iShares per ounce. Gold, we end up seeing back above 446, dropping to 430, about 1/10. Little less than 1/10, but still. And then, sorry, going back to Bitcoin, Maybe a little run up here. Ethereum as well, getting as low as 2,600 to 2,740. Kevin Warsh, you'd think would be so bullish on Bitcoin, would be a little bit of a go ahead, right? But no, not really. People are selling this off. BMNR, $25. $25 on BMNR. SoFi, let's check some of these names. $22.92. Oh my gosh, it's just criminal. Palantir, $147 on Palantir, down 2.8%. You know, software is getting its butt kicked. Shopify, $133, down another 7%. Dude. Oh my gosh. This year alone. So you're talking about January. like we just look at the last month, down 18.4%. The same month, ServiceNow down 23%. CRM, Salesforce down 19.8%. Unreal. IBKR up 15. Hood this month down 12. Wow. Silver, we can show off how crazy of a move this is, but even in the last month, it's, you know, up 16% even after this correction. You know? Tanner, any idea what's happening with Robinhood displaying a "we're not calling you" message? That seems like basic, you know, protecting customers from scam callers that are saying, hey, you guys called me and asked for my password and information and they're stealing our funds. You know, just stuff like that. Okay. SoFi, Silver. We're already looking at it, but on the 1 minute. Yeah, breaking below 70 looks to be the dip to have purchased. We'll see if that turns around again, but most likely not going to head below below $70 once again. SoFi CEO just said that we're uniquely positioned to benefit from crypto. SoFi USD stablecoin is available for consumers by end of Q1. And SoFi CEO visited DC this week to push for the Clarity Act. Okay. Very, very cool. Where is Nebius starting to recover? Obviously, still, like, when in doubt, zoom out. Still not looking great. Meta, let's check on the Mag 7 names really quick. Tesla up 4.8% on the idea that, you know, all of Elon's companies in terms of XAI and SpaceX and Tesla may all merge together before, sort of that incredible IPO potential. Meta down the most, but still above $700. So a good recovery from being below, 600 previously. Amazon seeing a nice recovery here, still red on the day. Google's the only other name aside from Tesla and the Mag 7 that is actually green, pushing further, hopefully hitting or about to hit a new high on the day, 339.90. One of the few of the actual Mag 7 names that has had just a truly amazing year. Up 66% comparatively to Tesla, up only 8%, 4% for Apple, 1% for Amazon, NVIDIA 54%, Microsoft up 2%, and Meta up 3.9%. Like, it's just been flat for most of the Mag 7. You have Google and NVIDIA standing in a league of their own. And honestly, going forward, that might, continue to be the case, that NVIDIA continues to catch a bid. At least that's the way that I'm believing in it. Okay. It does look like that was the bottom for silver. Should we do another poll? Let's do another poll. Who is buying silver? Do you guys have a belief? Are you buying the dip on gold, silver, or copper? Yes or no? Yes or no? Let me know. I wonder how different these rates are. So essentially 21% said yes on owning silver as we were crashing. But now, wow, similarly, 21% right now are saying they're going to buy this dip. So the same people who were involved in it before might still be the same people who are involved in it going forward. We'll see how that rate changes. Remember, it's an anonymous poll. No one's going to think you're cool if you say yes and you don't actually do it, okay? No one's going to know. So just be honest. Let's let the data find itself. Okay. Dude, if silver didn't crap, oh my gosh. that initial red candle scared the crap out of me. I was like, please no. Look at this. Is this gonna get bought up? This happened before and it got bought up pretty quickly. It got bought up last time pretty quickly back here. You jinxed it, Tanner. Guys, I'm sorry. Okay. Bitcoin, 84,000. That's continuing to run. Is gold having some red candles? Yeah, I mean they're trading almost like in tandem a little bit. Silver seems to be a little bit more volatile, however. Here I am buying businesses like a loser. Buying companies that make money and try to make more money over time. Doesn't make a lick of difference, by the way. Even SoFi doing their darndest, down 6% on growing net income, 184% year over year. What is even investing? I mean, it's a hard game. It's not simply a math equation. It's not simply a charts equation. It's something beautiful in the middle. Knowing when to enter, what to enter. But yeah. Silver, we'll continue to watch this. It's not a shiny rock, though. Shiny rock that's used, yeah, it is used. It's just what percentage? That's for me, is what I would like to know. Copper, at least, if it wasn't just trading completely in tandem, feels more like, something that would be easy to. Does copper have a iShares ETF as well? Or isn't it like CopX or something like this? Well, CopX is the miners. Still down 9%, but ended up recovering. Yeah. PayPal, what's PayPal at? Holy. Yeah. Under $52 on PayPal is actually kind of crazy. Like I was looking at the amount of shares that they're buying back. They're buying back something like 15% of the business at this price. At 32. Or sorry, at 52, sorry. Like 14% of the business per year. Paul, you need to chill, man. No banning people for their opinions. He doesn't have to like SoFi. As long as people aren't saying hateful or racist comments, let people have their fun. He can say what he wants. Everyone could call him an idiot or whatever. It's fine. But, okay. Silver, yes, it immediately started being bought up. Tanner, when are you becoming a Bitcoin bull? I mean, I own Bitcoin. I'm not anti-Bitcoin. You know? Man, I got banned for saying 6-7 once. That was not me. That for real was probably Paul. Paul's going crazy. He hates the youth. He's getting rid of all you guys. I'm kidding, Paul. Chime is going crazy. It's all right. We own this name too. You know, we'll take a little upside on Chime. Purchase price on this name was $16.90 something. Not a big percentage. It's a, smaller percentage, but yeah. Tanner almost banned me for saying I didn't like the shape of Bezos's head. That's a lie, dude. I don't even remember that at all. You're making up falsities. Also, don't talk crap about Bezos's head. Now you're making me not like you. Okay? As a part of the community of people with dents in their head, I find it very rude. We're a sensitive, we're a soft, scald community. Yeah. No, I say it a lot. I'm aware. Unity also getting its absolute butt kicked today on Project Genie from Google. Let's go ahead and take a look at Project Genie right now. This is tearing up some of these gaming names on the idea that artificial intelligence once again is going to solve some brand new problems people didn't really, factor into the equation whenever they were just thinking about it in terms of answering emails and sending out Christmas cards. Introducing Project Genie, the ability to essentially create playable worlds. So you put into the environment what you want the world to look like, how you want to move in this world, and you can simply enter this space that is constantly generating the world around it. What? Change the character to a large pink balloon rabbit. I'm going to make a lot of games like this. Now, how big do you think the gaming environment is? Who knows? I mean, that's up for you to maybe determine. But the cost of creation over time is only going to fall. This is even why I worry about things with acquiring Warner Brothers studios and stuff. It's like, do we really think that into the future, obviously the IP and everything's going to be quite exciting, like owning Harry Potter and stuff like this for Netflix. But I think a lot of new worlds are going to be created and the cost to do so is going to be extremely cheap. Imagine No Man's Sky with milked with this. Ew, bro. Milked? Anyway, this is a cool idea. And so Unity is getting its butt kicked on the idea that software names, once again, are being, sort of invaded by the AI narrative. Okay. New YouTube intros coming soon. Yeah, the whole world's going to change. I mean, soon it's not even going to be me telling you guys about silver. It doesn't even need to be me. Like, I'll be whatever you guys want me to look like. I'll be talking about silver, and instead of me, it'll be a dragon because that's what you wanted to see. Or whatever. Imagine No Man's Sky mixed with this. Yeah, that's a lot better. What happened with SoFi today? You told me this sucker was going up. Yeah, that's definitely what I thought. And to be honest, I wasn't even wrong. Earnings were phenomenal. But understanding the what the market wanted, I'm not sure, bro. Analysts are reaffirming the price target on this stock at, by the way, real quick, on who's buying the dip on silver was the exact same percentage as the people who said that they were in silver before it crashed. 21% of the audience. Dan Dolev put a outperformance on this name, $32 price target. We ended up seeing, William Blair, which was Andrew Jeffries. He ended up saying that it's an outperformance. They don't do price targets, but they believe that, completely overblown, and that they actually said this whenever the stock was going up. They said, yeah, it's up 6%, but you should still buy. Being down 6%, 12% swing in terms of where you could buy it pre-earnings and where you could buy it right now is the same business. 12% cheaper than 26 right here, or, whatever it is. What would that be? So 26.33 to 22.94. Yeah, 12.8% decrease in the price. You're getting the stock 12.8% cheaper than where you could a couple hours ago. Nuts. Tanner, but they diluted. They did not dilute in these hours. They diluted way back. Okay, this quarter, they didn't even announce a dilution. And by the way, people act like dilution, like they took the money out and pocketed it. The company converted their equity into cash, and they're going to use that cash to bring in 30+% ROEs on their loans, which is growing at faster and faster rates. So you don't have to be a believer in this name, but I am. They'll dilute more eventually, only if they see an opportunity to grow more. Like, we have to remember, I don't know how many shares you have, Kay. What I can guarantee is you don't have more shares than Anthony Noto, right? He's not pocketing this money. In fact, he actually gains more to lose because he needs the stock to get above $35 and $45 by March in order to see his performance-based stock units improve. So he has an incentive to not dilute, let alone the $100 million in stock that he has already that he wants to go up. The reason why he's diluting is because he believes that this company growing at a faster rate with the new amount of cash that they ended up diluting with will do better than without that cash. That's the only reason why any company would do something like this whenever they dilute into strength, right? I have 3,200 shares of SoFi. Let's check how many Anthony Noto has. Just so we put it into perspective, because He's not pocketing this money. I just went on Fiscal AI and typed in Anthony Noto. SoFi ownership. Anthony J. Noto, he owns 11.6 million shares. Worth $305 million. 11, right here. Let's zoom. Anthony J. Noto, 11.6 million shares. So you're a little bit off. He gets hit with the dilution a lot worse. Tad more. And yet he wanted that dilution to go through because he believes it's going to turn around and make the company even better. I have 11.5, so yeah, there you go. Okay. Isn't this the perfect setup? These companies are performing well, yet their stock prices are dropping. In my experience, this is usually the best time to buy. I mean, most literally, yes. I don't know what the future is going to hold. I don't know if it's going to take a lot, a steeper downturn. If, the United States end up invading a new country. Like, there's reasons that stocks could fall. People could get concerned about SoFi's ability to pay back loans if AI ends up displacing jobs, and those jobs were of the customers of SoFi that had loans outstanding, so then they don't repay back their loans. Like, anything's possible. Just going off the information that we have right now, they're growing insanely fast and doing very well. Silver, $76.61. Okay. Silver Slick says, Big Daddy, what's the rumor? Bro, you got silver in your name. You tell me what's going on. You're following the market much closer to than I am, my friend. What's SoFi? It's a bank. It's a very cool bank that it's one of my largest positions. They're the fastest growing regulated bank. And yeah, Steven, if it wasn't for NVIDIA being like 46% of my portfolio right now because everything else is selling off and it's doing okay. For real, like, bar the windows, like you got to keep me indoors. Don't let me get high up. Okay, keep me down low and safe. Define cool bank. No. Tanner, Amit, and Steve are not good investors. They just got lucky. Hearing. SoFi sends me at least 100 promotional emails in a day. Is this normal? It weirdly is, but it's actually working for them. It is definitely annoying, and you can turn it off, and I know a lot of people have, but yeah. Okay. Is this looking like a good time to put in short-term contracts? Might fire off some now. I'm not a super big fan of the, like, I like having equity over the long term. I know it's a little bit, more risk adverse, but like the comment said before, I'm not a good investor. So I try to reduce my risk and buy names of companies that allow me to mess up on the timing, but get right on the companies that have strong execution and strong founders, right? So as long as I can continue to pick the industries that have massive tailwinds over time with, founder or quasi-founder, leaders of the company, and then they continue to prove to us that they are growing and taking market share in a fast growing total addressable market, then that's the way that I sort of look to compound growth. You know, that's how you find a Shopify. That's how you find Tesla. That's how you find the AI names or NVIDIA or anything along these lines. It's you're picking the dominant name in a fast-growing industry with essentially evangelical founders, people who stand up like religious figures. Tobias Lutke, Elon Musk, Alex Karp. You want to look for those people specifically and pay the prices on those companies. That's the way that I invest. Expensive names that win, but they constantly win. Like BM&R, SoFi, and Nebius. So BM&R is probably the company in my entire portfolio that is the least like everything else. If there was a black sheep of the family, it's BM&R, because it's not really a company that creates revenue. So like all the things that I'm saying about founders growing total addressable markets, I mean, there's some of that with Ethereum and, you know, growing in a total addressable market, and there will be growth there. It's very different than the plays of literally everything else in my portfolio, from NVIDIA, Shopify, SoFi, NuBank, Robinhood. By the way, huge news on NuBank. This company, $18, also down 3.8% today. Nothing is safe. But they got conditional approval of their bank license, which like yesterday I said was going to take probably 12 to 18 months. And then right after the stream, they got it yesterday. Probably the fastest bank license approval of all time. Like for real, probably the fastest of all time by a long shot. In the United States, they got that bank license. Yeah. Yeah. So that's their entry into the United States. Doesn't mean that consumer accounts are going to be starting anytime soon, but at least they now have the ability to do so. And they also ended up opening up a hub in Argentina, which ended up happening news today, yesterday, like sort of late. That's also very exciting because they have not entered that space either. That's a massive space, very, very competitive on the fintech side, but they're going to do very well there. They've been wanting to get into Argentina since 2019. There's been a bunch of false starts, and ever since Javier Milei ended up coming in, they've been wanting to enter that space again. So now they don't have customer accounts in there just yet, but they have a tech hub, which means they're hiring. They're trying to sort of get access to a little bit of the Argentinian brain share, but not entering in there yet. But you can expect them to follow into the United States and Argentina very soon. This would expand their current operations outside of Brazil, Colombia, and Mexico to Argentina and the United States, massively expanding their total addressable market. A lot of people don't know about NuBank. It's just a secret $88 billion fintech that's growing in front of our eyes. And to the person that said I'm a bad investor and got extremely lucky, my entry on this name as well was $3.81. So take that to the bank. You can go back on YouTube to the exact day that I bought it in January of 2023. I made a video for you guys just in case you're in disbelief. Yeah. Okay. Ban it, Paul. Paul, don't be dropping the ban hammer on everyone. Everyone's not even going to ask me to ban people. They're going to go to Paul because they know that he pulls the trigger. Is new and attractive price here? I mean, whenever you compare it to names like Robinhood and SoFi and the US-based fintechs, it is still so cheap. But it's not a US name, and with that carries some risk. Now that they're a fully licensed US bank, you could probably trust the numbers a little bit more now that they're going to be overseen by the Federal Reserve, the OCC, and the SEC. But still. I wish I had Tanner's luck with investing. I appreciate that. That's very kind. I mean, dude, investing definitely comes with a lot of luck. It's just about, trying to stack your chips in hopefully the luckiest areas. Okay. Took profits from Google, added more to SoFi, new D-Local, Nebius. Yeah, I mean, if you're a buyer of stocks, this sale is not bad. Now, I don't know if I feel confident selling Google. It's definitely past my mind just because it's run so much. But it's Google, man. They have so much left to go. Okay. What's your average on Nebius? I'd have to check. It's probably not. It's probably very similar to where it is around this price right now. I was not buying this name super late. So whenever people are like, "Oh, why doesn't he talk about the names that he's acquiring right now?" It's like, well, no, Nebius is that name. I just recently bought Microsoft. My average price, literally, on Nebius, look at this. My average price on Nebius right now, across all my shares, 86.60. So, like, we're right there. We're under my price. But that's because I ain't no coward, okay? I've purchased at 75, and I'll purchase above 100. It's the long game. Next Jason Statham movie, The Gardener. That's hilarious. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the stream, however. This is where it comes to an end. I will be gone for the next sort of weekend. I'm heading down to Amit's meetup in New York. Gonna go see everyone there, meet some kind people, learn a lot about investing. So I'll probably try to get out my review on SoFi tomorrow, if I can get it done tonight and have it, ready to go out. So keep an eye out for that. And then I also need to do a BMNR update. And then, honestly, let me know if you guys want to hear more about Nebius or you want to hear more about my thoughts on the Mag 7 names, because I need to make videos on both, but it's just a matter of what's coming out on Sunday. So, Tanner, tell Amit to come to Toronto. He is coming to Toronto, but I'm also looking to do a meetup here in Toronto, probably in the summer, probably around like August or something like this, which I even talked to Amit. He said that he would probably come down for that as well. So we will see. I don't know when he's going to come down, but yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate your time. But bye for now.